Hi and good day, everyone. My name is Bongani Enoch Mnisi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, a platform where I can share the word of the Lord with you. And I hope and pray that as I share this next message, that you shall be greatly blessed by the word in Jesus' name. That's my prayer, and also that's my greeting to everyone. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, don't forget to share this message with your world. Okay, let's get into it. Today, I want to discuss on a specific topic on how the disciples overcame their failure. And we'll be looking into Matthew chapter 17. And actually, I'll paraphrase it from verse 14 until verse 21. Something happens there. For the first time, they experience a failure that was so embarrassing in their walk, and basically also because they represented Jesus Christ. So this is the scenario. There was somebody who was brought before them, right? There was a father who had a son, and then this son had epileptic fits, right? And then now he gave this son to the disciples and said the disciples could handle it, because by protocol and how they were raised, their disciples were capable of doing such things. I mean, before Jesus sent them out to raise the dead, to cure lepers, and to preach the gospel, and to do many things, to heal the sick, and to do so many great exploits in his name. So it was a custom. It was people got used to them doing this kind of work. But this time around, when they are faced with this young boy, when the disciples are faced with this young boy, all of a sudden they fail to cast that spirit out. They fail to deliver this young boy, and then they are left there perplexed and not knowing what to do. And then now Jesus is summoned into the equation, and when he's summoned into the equation, the father of the son says, I gave my son to your disciples and they couldn't do anything about it, so now we have come to you so that you can do something about it. And then Jesus replies by saying, "O faithless generation, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you?" He says, "Bring the boy here." And the boy was brought to him, and then he cast that spirit out in one go, and then it was done. And then something happens that the disciples begin to ask Jesus and say, "Why could we not cast it out?" The Bible tells us that Jesus replies to them and says, "Well, first of all, you had because of your unbelief, and then second of all, I say to you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, and it shall be cast into the sea." And then he says, "But this kind," verse 21, "this kind doesn't go out except through fasting and prayer." This kind doesn't go out except through fasting and prayer. And this is what I want to highlight. This is the most important part that I want to highlight. That a scenario was raised, a problem was raised before the disciples. And then all of a sudden they couldn't cast out this demon. They couldn't deal with the situation. And now they had to call in their master. And then their master now begins to diagnose the situation. And he says, "Oh, faithless generation." That's how he starts with it. He says, there was no faith attached to this kind of work. There was no faith. So he says, "You faithless generation and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you?" He cast the spirit out. And then after casting out the spirit, this is what I love about the disciples, that the disciples, the scriptures say that they went to Jesus privately. They went to him privately and asked him, why could they not cast it out? You see, after you have prayed, after you have done, you've worked kingdom principles and many things that you do for God or in the name of the Lord, begin to ask why they did not happen. If nothing changed, nothing shifted, you cannot assume that prayer doesn't work. You cannot assume that the word doesn't work. You cannot assume that certain principles that other people have results in do not work. You need to ask yourself, why could you not receive that result? Why could you not cultivate that thing? Why could you not receive an exploit or a success? Why could you not work certain things that you have seen in the scriptures, that you've seen even in other people's life? Why could you not do that? And that is the thing that we need to be humble about, that we need to also, like the disciples, begin to ask Jesus, why could we not? Oh Lord, why can I not? I've been doing the right thing. Why am I not seeing results? Why am I not experiencing certain transformations and certain things changing in my life? And then the Lord must give you a reply on why. Because at this time, Jesus diagnosed and says, what you were lacking is not authority. What you were lacking is faith. He says, you faithless generation. And then he says, it was because of your unbelief. And also, this kind doesn't go out except through fasting and prayer. So he says, number one, fasting and prayer is something that you do not do. So you need to start doing for this kind. And then he says, number two, you don't have faith. Because if you had faith as small as a mustard seed, you you'll speak to the mountain and it will depart. So he's saying that now you don't even have faith. And then he says, because of your unbelief. That's the third thing, because of your unbelief. That was the diagnosis. So now they need to realize that the principles that we were using were correct. All they need to do now is add and not subtract. They could have given up and relegated prayer and all these things that they've been doing to achieve specific results. But now they realize they need to add faith. They need to have more belief. They need to add to their prayer with fasting. They need to add. So now they know, because before, when they went out with authority and not with faith. Let me tell you what's the difference between faith and authority. Faith comes from within you. It's something that you believe and you are convicted in and you are convinced in. There's a place you pray from and do things from a place of faith, whereas authority has nothing to do with your belief. You can have authority without having faith, because when Jesus sent them, he sent them in his name. For example, if I send you in my name to do something, you don't have to prove anything to anybody when you get to the gates of wherever I'm sending you. You just say, so and so sent me, so therefore I've come to take this. So you don't have to prove anything about yourself. You will have to take things in my name. So therefore, that is why they went out and they cast out demons and raised the dead. And they were surprised when they came back and they say, Jesus, we spoke to demons and there were demons and the spirits were subject to us and all these things. And people were healed and the dead were raised. They were shocked. Why? Because they did not have faith. They went in delegated authority. They went in another person's authority. And that is what I'm saying today, that we must come to that place where we begin to ask God, why? Why? Certain things have not worked the way they're supposed to do. What is missing? What is needed? What should I be adding? What should I be contributing even more? What should I be working on? That question is an important question, because you might be closer and you might just need an extra touch, something extra to your life, something extra to what you're doing. Might need to change the weapons. You might need to change the tools. You might need to add fasting. You might need to add prayer. You might need to add something. But ask the Lord on why it is not working, or why certain things are not moving the way they're supposed to, and you'll be shocked at the answer. May the Lord help you. May the Lord help you pray and seek and find that answer that you need right now to yield the results that you need to experience a fruitful life for your life, in Jesus' name. God bless you. Hope this message was a blessing to you. Enjoy the rest of your day.